Good evening. Today is Wednesday, May the 14th, 2025, and we are here with the brand new, not quite opened, headquarters of the Wheeling Fire Department. And with me this evening is Chief Blazier, and he'll be leading the tour after I do a little bit of the history. There's a great history of the Wheeling Fire Department on the city's website. If you want to read more, I try to consolidate it a little bit on here. This is a Friends of Wheeling tour. If you would like to join Friends of Wheeling, we do something like this once a month, and you'll get on our mailing list. The dues are $10 a year, and I happen to have membership cards with me if anyone is not a member and would like to join. So that's the commercial message for you. As far back as 1807, Wheeling's town council passed several resolutions aimed at fighting fires in the city. By 1819, the council appropriated $700 to purchase a fire truck, hooks and ladders, and other tools needed to fight a fire. They probably cost more than that now.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
In early 1820, males who were 16 or older enrolled with the city recorder. Shortly after that, the men met to organize a fire company, and the town council ordered a building to house fire equipment to be erected on the west end of Market House, which was in Wheeling between 10th and 11th Streets. At that time, the fire equipment consisted of a land fire engine, hooks and ladders, and durable black leather fire buckets that held 2.5 gallons of water. The leather buckets would be used to supply water from a source using a bucket brigade. Beginning in 1830, there were 7 independent fire companies that were formed. The first was the Wheeling Hose Company. Interesting of it is that the firehouse, which was on Market between 12th and 14th, had a large open ballroom on the second floor where elaborate socials were held. The firefighters at that time dressed in black pants, bright red shirts, and regulation fire hats. Excuse me. The Hope Fire Company was founded in 1835 by 214 prominent and professional men. The first order of business was to order seven speaking trumpets to communicate at fires. The Hopes were also an elaborate fire company. They wore dark gray, double-breasted frock coats with large black military collars and capes. They were widely known for sponsoring frequent balls, colorful parades, and many social events. Mm-hmm. You were a social group back then. Then there was the Guards Fire Company, organized in 1839, mostly of ironworkers. In 1843, the first Ward Hose Company was organized in North Main Street. One of its nicknames was the Vigilant Steam Fire Company Number 3. And it was them who put the first fire engine into service. It was a rowboat-type hand pumper requiring 32 men to operate. After 10 to 15 minutes of operating this fire pump, even the strongest men needed relief. The Rough and Ready Fire Company was formed by tradesmen in 1846. I'm sorry. And operated from Jacob Street between 16th and 17th. And then the Young America Hose Company was on Wheeling Island. In 1859, just before the Civil War, the United Fire Company was formed mostly by B&O Railroad employees. They were the ones who first had a steam fire engine, and that helped replace all the labor-intensive hand-operated equipment. During these years, of course, Wheeling grew immensely, and the demand on the independent fire company was overwhelming, often with bitter rivalries interrupting the firefighting efforts. Mm-hmm. So the council realized that another more efficient system was needed. So in 1869, the first paid fire department was established by the city with William Winder as the fire chief. Is it Winder or Winder?
I think it was Winder.
Winder, mm-hmm. Okay. He divided the city into 2 fire districts, and then there were 4 fire companies within those districts. Each one had a certain number of horses and hose and those sorts of things. The second fire chief, William Eccles, in 1878 became the fire chief, and one of the improvements that he did was to have automatic snap collars and swinging harnesses in the firehouses. These allowed the horses to go without wearing the harnesses until they were needed. When the alarm came in, the horses quickly took their places under these automatic devices and instantly were collared and harnessed and off to the alarm. Prior to these automatic devices, the horses wore collars and harnesses 24 hours a day, causing sores on their necks and backs. It was also under Eccles that the Gamewell fire alarm system was installed in 1880. There were 57 fireboxes located around the city, and residents could go to a firebox and pull the alarm to call the fire department. 1882, the next fire chief was James Dunning, and he purchased the first chemical fire engine in 1889. Then Frank Healy became the fire chief in 1890, and they erected a new fire station in North Wheeling and called it the Vigilant Firehouse. A year later, it burned down. But it was quickly replaced with the current building that's there. That's at 650 Main Street. That's at the foot of 7th. And that is the building that's being turned into a bookstore now. 1897, the chief was Charles Clevis, and he had the entire fire alarm system rewired. Robert Klein, 1899, there were 2 additional fire companies established. 1909, James Altmeyer, and he was known for bringing motorized era to Wheeling. He even had a Mitchell Roadster. That's in 1909, so that he could ride in a car to go to various fires. The fire alarm system was also upgraded. Edward T. Rose became the fire chief in 1912, and that saw the end of the horse-drawn steamer era, and gasoline-powered trucks were replacing the horses during his term of office. 1919, Burley Thompson was the fire chief, and he was responsible for extending fire service to the newly annexed areas of Warwood, Woodsdale, and Elm Grove. Edward McGranahan became the chief in 1922. During his tenure, the department grew to 81 men working out of 14 firehouses, and there were 88 fire alarm boxes. William McFadden, 1946, joined as the chief after serving in the armed forces during World War II. He brought in several new firefighting concepts, such as firefighting foam and special Navy nozzles used for flammable liquid fires. He was also instrumental in the transition from gasoline-powered fire engines to diesel-powered. 1971, Cliff Sliger was appointed as chief. And just as an aside, Cliff Sliger will be installed into the Wheeling Hall of Fame this year. So that's quite an honor for him. It was during his term that firefighters were trained to be EMTs, and the paramedic program was instituted. They also brought in heavy rescue concepts with equipment such as the jaws of life and so forth to get people out of cars. The old fire alarm box system was phased out when the modern 911 system began. 1995, Stephen Johnson was appointed fire chief, and Larry Helms was the fire chief starting in 2007. Chief Helms was the one who began the efforts to build this new fire station. He was also in charge of the emergency response during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as of June 19, 2021, Jim Blazier became the 16th fire chief, and he continued the work on this new building, and he is going to lead us on the tour, and we thank you very much, Chief Blazier.
No worries. I'm glad to do it.
All right.
So, you ready to move in? All right. Let me get the...
Thank you.
There we go. I know it's really big.
It is. How many trucks you can put in here?
In this side, we'll be able to, some of the shorter trucks, we'll be able to stack 2 in there. Like if we have a spare apparatus, we might be able to put 2 deep. But ideally, it'll be just 1 per bay. And then over here will be the smaller vehicles like ambulances, the shift commander's vehicle, things like that, pickup truck, utility truck. So.
I work in the library.
No, other than this area right here, the whole building's on one level. So there is no living area up there. So that's going to be storage and training props. So these windows that are cut out there in that wall, we'll be able to throw ladders to them and do practice extricating victims from windows like we're at a fire scene. Those black hooks that are mounted in the walls, you'll see some that are over here that aren't painted yet. We'll be able to run rope systems across here and do training with like highline rescue setups and things like that. Inside those doors, if you go up those steps, we're going to call that the mezzanine, and there's going to be some storage areas up there for some extra equipment. And then there's also the training props that are up there. And then once you get into those doors, there's a ladder to climb to go up higher, which you can see on the outside, the tallest part of the building. We'll be able to hang hoses in there for drying purposes. And then when we're not drying hoses, we'll be able to use that area for rope training as well, like rappelling and or lifting people up. Where this walkway is right here, we actually have a manhole up on top. So if we had an extrication or some kind of a emergency with somebody down in a manhole, we can practice putting people down through there, packaging somebody up, and then bringing them up through like we were extricating them from a manhole in the street. But it gives us a controlled place to do it.
Nobody slides down a pole anymore. Is that
Not
right?
here, but we do have 3 of our stations have poles. The North Wheeling station at 801 Main has a pole. The Island station has a pole. And the Edgewood station, which is our oldest station now. It was built in 1931.
I work at a library, and they said, make sure you ask that.
Yes. We have 3 stations with poles. And actually the one at Edgewood, it had 2 poles in it when it was originally built. And somebody got hurt sliding the pole one time, and they took them out. And then we ended up, when I was a rookie on the department, the lieutenant that worked out there, he was all about bringing the history back. And we found a pole that was being taken out of a station in Baltimore, and we purchased it and got it shipped to Wheeling, and we polished it all up, and then we installed it in there. And so
and do they use it?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they use it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's very nice. So as you can see, this is a big area. This is a lot larger than the bay area that we had in our old station. Overall, the square footage of this station compared to our old headquarters is almost double. It was 11,000 some square feet at the Market Street station. This one is close to 26,000 square feet.
Now,
So-
will this result in closing some of the other stations?
No, this will not result in closing any other stations. So all the other stations are going to remain open, and then this will be just our headquarters. Mm-hmm. So there will be some responding vehicles that are going to come out of here, and then also some of our spare apparatus will be kept here. And it's going to be more convenient because when we have a fire and we have our trucks on a fire scene that are tied up, we'll call in off-duty personnel to man trucks that are available, and they'll all be here. So we'll be able to get them in service quicker and be able to get them protecting the rest of the city faster. So
So are there living spaces?
I'm sorry?
Are there living spaces?
Oh, yes, yes. The way there's a lot of thought that went into this building, and this whole process started in probably 2016. If you remember, we were going to build the city, I should say, was going to build a public safety building at the surface lot at 10th Street. And we went to a levy on a ballot, and it had to have a supermajority to pass, and it didn't. We had like 56%, but it didn't make it. So the funding fell through, so then some other things happened, and then the building that the police are in became available. So that fixed their problem to get a building, and then we were looking at different places to put this facility, and this lot came up, and our building committee actually traveled to a lot of stations around the East Coast and looked at things and picked the brains of the firefighters that were there and asked them, you wanted this, now you got it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What would you change? Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of good information and a lot of good feedback, and kind of put it into play here.
How many fire stations are throughout the city?
There is 7. Once this station is open, we'll have 7 fire stations in Wheeling. So we're about a 14 square mile city, and if we were a square, 2 stations would cover it. But because of how Wheeling's shaped, we're long and skinny along the river, and then we shoot out through the hill to the other side. In order for us to have a reasonable response time to everyone in the city, it requires us to have 7 stations to do that. So
these tubes that we see here, are those to get exhaust out?
Yes. When the trucks are backing in, they will be they magnetically attach to the exhaust pipe, and then there's a pressure sensor on there that turns a fan system on, which sucks the exhaust through this system and outside. And when the trucks leave, they drive out with that thing connected, and when they get to the door, the pressure on the magnet pulls it away, and then it pops back inside. Wow. We actually use them in our other stations now. Mm-hmm. So we've had these for quite a few years.
There's an unusual roof line. Is there a thought as to
why? The architect's design was because this area of town was a industrial type area, and that jagged roof line kind of gives you the idea of it as like a building for industry. So it kind of like them blend into the community. So that was the reason for the jagged roof line. Mm-hmm. So.
Who was the architect?
M&G Architects were, they've done all the work on this project, and so.
All right.
Okay.
Can we see other things?
These other rooms back in here, like that door over there, is the locker room for the firefighting gear. So the idea is most of the other stations, the lockers for the truck bays or for the firefighting gear is right on the truck bays. But it makes it vulnerable to exhaust fumes getting on it and stuff like that. So the idea is to keep that gear separate from the truck bays to keep it cleaner. So if we get a chance, we'll open the door and look in there. The lockers are installed in there. They're huge. It's really going to be a nice setup. So the general idea of this building is because we live here as firefighters, there's the awareness of there's a larger percentage of firefighters that develop cancer because of what we're exposed to throughout our career. So we're learning how to try to limit those risks, and one of those is by not being exposed to stuff any longer than we have to be. So this side of the building, from this wall that you're seeing over there out this way, is what we're considering the dirty side of the building. So we come back from a fire, we back the trucks in, everybody's got their soot-covered gear on, they'll take it off. There's going to be a means in this part of the building to wash that gear. We'll decon it, wash it, and it never goes past that wall into where they live. There's going to be a decon room for the firefighters over here, which is going to have a shower in it, and it's going to have a sauna. And the idea of the sauna is that you get in there first, you shower off, then you get in the sauna, and the heat opens up your pores and brings things to the surface that you've absorbed during the fire. And then you get back in the shower and rinse off again. And we're going to have an assortment of oversized t-shirts and gym shorts and stuff like that. And once you get to that point, then you'll go back into your living area and you can get a shower back there in private.
Do you have any female?
We do. We have 3 right now. So we have to address, accommodate the privacy and so forth. So, and this station's set up for that because all of the cruise quarters are independent rooms. All the other fire stations, except for our island station, it has dormitory style sleeping arrangements. And how we've got around that was everybody wears t-shirts and shorts, when they go to bed. So it's, maintains privacy. And,
What's these doors for over here?
these two, those are the bay doors for these. We call that the low bay and this is the high bay. So the low bay is going to be for the smaller vehicles. Like we have a pickup truck we use to haul hose around with. Maybe an ambulance will fit in there. Our duty chief. Sometimes I might park inside. Yeah. So
You don't have a 1909 car.
no. So
So you
But-
find this lot easy access?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
When we looked at this lot, we looked at the accessibility to downtown and the accessibility to Route 2, and this gives us an opportunity to go all the different ways we need to go, south, east, west, north, very efficiently. So I think it's going to be a good system once we're in here. On duty per day will be 7. And then the administrative offices are also in this building, clear at the other end. And there's about 10 staff members. So Monday through Friday during business hours, there's going to be like 17 people during those hours. And then weekends, we'll have 7, and overnights, stuff like that. Okay?
Do we have a generator?
We do. We have a generator. So if something happens and there's power loss, we'll still be able to heat in the place so we can stay open. That was one of the big pushes we were going for, was to make sure we had a generator. We had a generator at our old station, but it didn't run everything. It was smaller. It ran a few outlets here and there, and the doors were not on it. We had to open the doors manually if the power was out. And it didn't happen a lot, but it happened periodically. So
Sure.
Is there a projected date?
we're looking for about a month or so. So we're looking at so
A long time coming.
yes. What you see here right now is there's all kinds of stuff sitting around, but there's a lot less here than there was 2 weeks ago. So it's definitely moving in the right direction, and things are really coming together.
You got set back with that other company going bankrupt.
Yes, there was a couple setbacks during the construction, but the local subs that we have on the job here, they all came back. They're doing great work, and we're so happy that they stuck with us. So.
Is Wheeling one of the smallest towns in the country to have a paid fire department?
No, actually, there's a lot smaller cities now. I would say that moving in the last 10 years, the move has been going towards at least partial paid departments, even in a lot of smaller towns, because the volunteer fire departments they have a hard time getting members and keeping members. And then back in the 1970s, there was a lot more industry jobs where people worked shift work. So you had a core of people that worked day turn, midnights, 311s. So there was always somebody home, it seemed like, to answer the calls. Well, now most people that work day shift. And so there's a gap in the daytime where there's hardly anybody available. And a lot of the volunteer departments are experiencing that struggle. So some of the departments are going with daytime personnel, and then the evenings the volunteers take back over. So,
So can we see
Yes.
more? Yeah.
Yes. we'll go back. We'll just go down this hall because this looks more clear right now. So we'll go down this hall first. So there's 3 doors that come from that side of the building out onto the truck bays. So when there's a call, this door goes to sleeping quarters for the officers. That door in the middle goes to sleeping quarters for the crews. And then the door over on the right goes to the kitchen area, day room, dining area. So no matter where they're at, they'll have an easy access to the truck bay for the calls, to answer calls. This area right here is going to be kind of the information center. It'll have what we call the gong board, which will have the radio on it. It'll have a board that's mounted to the wall above it that when a call comes in, the address and everything comes up on that boards. So if they didn't hear it for some reason, they can come out and look at that and say that's where we're going and what the nature of the call is. So it's going to be state of the art. It really is.
It's like the police station.
Yes, it is.
So if you were to come to visit as a citizen, come visit the police station, fire station, where do you come in?
If you're coming to visit, you'll probably come in through the main, the public entrance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Back there.
So this area here is going to be, and it's going to be hard for everybody wants to move on in.
People are going to be able to hear the chief.
Here, I'll
Yeah, if you guys want to just go into this room, and that way,
More people can come in.
yeah. Got a nice crowd. Yeah.
That's a pretty small room.
Well, and this room's going to be that countertop that's over there. There's data drops along that countertop, and there's going to be computer stations there. So if anybody needs to do like reports or they're studying for something, they can sit in here in kind of a quiet area. Down in the corner where that black box is sticking through the wall, that is going to be the Safe Haven baby box. We have one of those at our island station, and then we're going to have one here. Of course, it's not open for business yet because the station has to be occupied for it to be.
Has that worked?
We haven't used ours yet, but around the nation, it's been very successful. So.
I don't think we have 200, but we've probably got 100 here. Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. If everybody can just come up close where you can hear me. I know I got a pretty loud voice, so.
It's echoing now.
Yeah. I'll kind of give you a layout of this hallway, and then I'll kind of turn you loose as a group going down here so that you can kind of enter into the different rooms and look around. So this is going to be a workstation right here. And there's a countertop in here with some computer hookups. And that way crews can do their EMS reports or their fire reports. And then I was telling everybody in here also, in the back corner of this room, there's a black box sticking through the wall. And if you guys can look out the door right there and see the outside of it, there's a black square out there. That's going to be the Safe Haven baby box. So we have one of those at the laws in West Virginia allow anybody that wants to surrender a baby can come to a fire station and hand their baby over, and we don't have to take their name, anything. We just take the baby and do our protocol. This allows anonymity. If someone is too embarrassed to do that or whatever, they can come place the baby in there right now, and they are used, and it's been very successful. So as we move down this hall, there's 3 rooms on your left that are the officers' living quarters. And they're all the same room. So if some of you want to go in one, and you can skip to the next one, and then we'll meet at the end of the hall. So everything on the left side of this hall is it'll be the assistant chief, the lieutenants, and the captain's offices. So when they're on duty, they'll have their own private quarters. Their offices are a little bit larger than the crew's quarters. And the reason for that is because if they need to have a meeting with some of their crew, the outer office here, there's going to be an area for people to sit. They'll have a desk in there, a computer to work at, and things like that to do their daily tasks. So, if you see one of these rooms, you've seen all 3 because they're just a mirror image of each other. If you walk down around the inside into the back room, you'll see where the bunks are going to be, and then the bathroom is beyond that. And check out the bathrooms, because I'm telling you they are really cool how they're laid out. So we'll go down the hall. We'll meet at the end of the hall when you're done, and we'll go out into the other side. Okay? You want to see something?
Go this way?
We'll probably go. Are we going to be able to get through there?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this.
It said keep it shut. So
Yeah. They don't want it. This is the IT room. Look at how much wire there is in this place.
Oh, cool.
This is incredible how
All the servers are in there?
yes. Yeah. They started pulling wire. I was like, oh my Lord. How do you know where all that goes?
I knew your mother and dad when they worked at Kennedy's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How many hundred
Yeah, that's a long time ago. So, what's that? Oh, we can go down this way. That's just going to be a storage closet. We have an honor guard for the fire department, and we've never had a place where they could have their own locker to keep like extra uniforms and their supplies in. So we're going to have that. That's going to be covered for them there. Down this hall is the crew's bedroom. So there's 6 crew's quarters down this hall. And again, if you go into one of those, the other ones are just mirror images. So if you want to go down and look around, now the door at the end of the hall takes you back out onto the truck bay. So if they get up out of a sleep to go on a call, all they have to do is go out that door, and they're ready to go.
I wonder how many to, or just one to a room?
I think he said one to a room.
There's restrooms all over the place.
The ones you were talking about being poor, where are they at?
Being what? Oh, in the bunk rooms. They have these big showers that are like they're as long as a bathtub, but they're level with the floor. You just walk right in them. Yeah, it's so nice.
One per room?
Yeah, one per room.
Nice big room.
Now there'll be 2 beds in there, but the shifts work opposite days. So one crew member will be in there on like Tuesday, and then Wednesday the other crew member will be in there, and then they switch places.
Down this way?
Yes.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice size.
Yes, they are. It's almost like a hotel room in there. So. How are you?
Very interesting.
Thank you.
It's just going to be like Chicago Fire.
Without all the drama.
Oh, gee. How boring.
All right, here's the important question.
Okay.
Of the TV shows, which one is the most accurate of the fire TV shows?
You know what? I really don't watch them, But I would say, from what I've heard, they're not that accurate. No, it's and unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard, one of my favorite movies is the movie Backdraft. So the movie Backdraft, it's hard to do a realistic fire movie because when we go into a building that's on fire, you can't see anything. So if you're filming in there, in order to make it Hollywood effective, they have to make it where you can see live fire and it's clear visibility and stuff like that. And it's just not how it is when you're really doing it. So it's kind of unrealistic. It's just hard to pretend for film. You know what I mean?
Do you use anything like night vision goggles or?
We have thermal imaging.
Okay.
And that's become a big advantage to us in the fire service. Matter of fact, every one of our rigs has a thermal imaging camera on it now. And it's a game changer because you could be totally obscured with smoke. And if I'm looking at her, I would be able to see her because her body temperature is registering on the thermal imaging camera. So that technology really came out of the military, and it's been fine-tuned for the fire service over the years. Saves a lot of lives, yes. We actually have a drone now, and the drone has thermal imaging on it. And the advantage of that is we can be on the outside of a building, and we can see where the most of the heat is in the building from the air. And we can report to the crews, on the AB corner, you got a lot of heat. And they know to go there and start tearing open walls or whatever they need to do to get into it.
One way from the leather buckets.
Oh yeah. We were discussing how you talk about the history and how hard it was to be a firefighter back in those days. Back, I don't know if you ever heard them say about fire. They call them fire plugs.
Yeah.
Well, the fire plug, before there was fire hydrants, when they got to a fire scene, there was wooden water mains. They would have to dig down. They had maps on the trucks. They would look and see, okay, the water main's here. They dug a hole, drilled into the wooden water pipe, hooked into it, and then when they got done with the fire, they drove a wooden plug in it. And then they marked it on the map. So they knew that there was a plug there. That's why the name fire plug came about. But now everybody calls fire hydrants fire plugs. But it was basically an access to the water main that was made.
Might as well go to where there's already a plug a little
Right,
bit. You don't have to drill again.
Exactly.
I
You
thought
know
it.
the history on the old wooden hook and ladder?
Yes.
They sold to Wheeling Stable?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
That's back a couple of years.
Yeah.
The old wooden hook and ladder.
Okay, we'll go down around the corner to the right, and then we'll go into the kitchen and dining room area, and we'll work
Do you
from
ever
there.
have to fight any with just tankers not having a...
No, actually, we're pretty spoiled here in Wheeling. We got a great water system. Now, this room we're passing here is going to be the weight room or exercise room. So it's very large, and right now it has all the kitchen cabinetry in it. But it's really going to be a nice setup for the crews. That's going to be the administrative offices. We'll go over there in a minute. Our department training room's over there as well. So we'll go over and show you that here in a second here.
Yeah, I was a volunteer from that area.
Oh, yeah.
Over in a small town in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah,
So we fought rural fire.
right across the river, Belmont County has a tanker task force, and they train hard, and they do such a great job. They really do a great job over there with what they do.
Those are tough situations.
Oh yeah. They make it look easy though,
Yeah.
the way they do it. So, well, this is going to be the kitchen. So that area over there where the purple drywall is going to be like kitchen cabinetry, refrigerators, countertop space, and then where this pipe's sticking up out of the floor is going to be a large island. So that, matter of fact, that thing against the wall there, that is the top for the island. So it's going to be pretty large. So they'll be able to do food prep on there as well as sit around it and eat if need be. There also, we have one of our members that's he does woodworking, and he's building a live edge wooden table for this area that's going to have the fire department insignias on it. So it's not finished yet, but it's close. And then over on this side of the room, there'll be recliners staged, and then there's going to be large TVs. One of the TVs will be for information like calls going out and things like that, and then the other one will be for like watching TV. So that was one of the things we got when we went around to the stations around the country and looked, and everything's moving to the independent bunk rooms. And they said that to not get away from the camaraderie, you want to have a nice area for everybody to be together, so everybody doesn't just go into their bunk room and sit there and then no one communicates with each other and things like that. So I think this will be a nice, because whether you're in here watching TV or eating or whatever, we're all going to be in that same area.
And then there's a door directly back out.
Yes, and that door there takes you back out onto the truck bays. So like wherever we were in either one of those halls, there's a door at the end of the hall that takes you. So from those doors this way is what we're considering the clean side of the building. So no, if you're coming to work from another station, we don't want you walking in that door with your fire gear through the kitchen. Come in one of the other doors out on that side so that your fire gear is never in this area where we're preparing food and sleeping and stuff like that. So back when I started, you took your pants and boots to bed with you and stuck them next to your bed, and that way when you got up out of bed, you jumped in them, and now that's a no-no. We don't do that anymore. So we'll head down the hall towards the other side. The big room on the right, if you guys didn't hear me when we were coming through there, that is going to be the exercise room. Right now it's got all the kitchen cabinets in it that's going to go in here. So it's a large area. It's going to be a very nice addition to for the men and women to get their workouts in and so forth. But we'll go past that room. If anybody wants to go in that room, you're more than welcome. But we'll go past that room and then into the other hallway, and that'll be the administration side.
Oh, we wanted to take a sauna.
Oh. I've got more flack from the police department. The police department goes, "What do you mean they're getting a sauna?" And so, yeah, we've got razzed a lot about the sauna, but it's got its reasons. So.
We described that people sunning and showering when they came back from a call. So it's going to be in the great bathroom area.
Yeah. We wanted you to be deconned before you go into there. So.
I thought it would be routine in this part of the house.
Yes.
Well, by showering out there and then getting in the sauna and showering again, you've got the worst off, and then you can come in here and take a legit shower once you get into
So
here.
that sauna's out after.
Correct. It's out on that side. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, that's another restroom.
DC top of the door.
I know, I saw that. That's why I looked in there. I said it was vacant.
I recognize that.
Now this is the training room here, so this is a very large area here. We'll go in there, and then this is the kitchenette for the training room. So it's got it's going to have a refrigerator in here and a microwave. Oh, I'm learning how to work the switches and everything. And a sink and so forth. We'll have a coffee maker in here. So this will be accessed by our crews or our staff members that are working day shift. Or if we have something going on in the training room, we can make coffee in here for that and have some refreshments and so forth. Yeah, you can go ahead in there. I'm not sure how to turn the light on, but. Yep, there you go. Yeah. This is the training room. Yes. I don't know if you've toured the Wheeling Police Department. They have that training room on the first floor. This is similar to that. I think theirs is a little larger than this, but we'll have the podiums will be placed at the front. So if someone's teaching a class, they can put their PowerPoints or videos or whatever, and they'll be displayed on these 4 televisions that are going to be mounted. So no matter where you're sitting in the building or in the room, you'll be able to look at a TV. The rows of tables are going to go along where these black boxes are, and then the tables will be joined together with electric wires, and they'll have like power ports. So if you have a laptop, you can keep your laptop plugged in. It'll have USB power, stuff like that. So
now the police station had a simulation room.
yes, we do not have that.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of things that are our simulations. Basically, will be out on the truck floor where the training area is out there, and then we have our island training facility.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of neat stuff down there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And there's.
So that'll be an emblem that's going to be mounted on the wall up here whenever they get to that point.
Start selling that, trademark that, right?
I'm telling you, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. I don't know if we do, to be honest with you. Let me check and see here. Oh, the water's on. Oh, that one's covered.
Just neighborhood.
Unfortunately, they all have covers on them, so I know there's a portage on outside, but okay.
See, my son-in-law is a member of the Alerts Fire Department.
Oh, okay, okay.
30-some years.
Okay.
And then my grandson was the first assistant fire chief when Blair took over.
Oh, okay, okay.
But when Blair became Blair Fire Department.
Yeah. Okay, good, good.
So we come from a long line of
Yeah,
firefighters.
yeah.
How many firefighters do you hear at one time?
There'll be 7 firefighters here, and then we'll have the 10 staff people on this side of the building. Over in this hall outside of this room, all up and down this hall is the staff offices, and they're basically all the same. My office is right behind here, so if we go down the hall and then make that left into there, the front room is Maggie. She's my assistant, and then she'll have a big room for storage for files. And then beyond her office, we have a conference room on the right, and then my office is on the left. So
How about landscaping?
landscaping starts, I think, the week before Memorial Day.
So shrubs, trees, grass.
I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be up to the codes for whatever we're supposed to have. So I think Top Notch or DePlagas are doing the
Check with the wheeling person. Yeah.
yeah. So
Who does your food service?
our folks cook themselves.
Do they?
Yep. We've got some really good cooks there over the years. So yeah. That room down the hall is where the kitchen's going to be, right when you come in off the truck floor, in that furthest hall there. So the main entrance is out here. So if we had some kind of a public class, like say you guys wanted to have a meeting here, we could have you guys come through the main entrance. You could come down this hall. There's going to be 2 restrooms here, and then you could use this area, and then you wouldn't have access to the other side of the building. So unless the guys want to take you over there, if you requested that and they took you over there, then that would happen. But no one can wander through the building and, get to where they're not supposed to be. So. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
A gym membership?
Yeah, yeah. So we can walk out here if you want to see where the main entrance is. There we go. Thank you. No, we weren't in here yet. So this was, oh, they might have took the portage on. Maybe the bathrooms are working. So that'll be kind of what we call the watch room. And that's going to be another area where there's going to be computer hookups and places, a countertop for somebody to sit. And that way if somebody comes in and has a question, they can ask a question through here. And we're also going to have an intercom system that will go back to my administrative assistant's office where she can figure out. So you'll be able to, during business hours, you'll be able to come in that door, but this door will be locked. And then we'll have to send somebody out to.
Yeah. So you're not.
What's that?
I can't get these signs up and down.
Yes. The reason that's up there for one reason, I think one of those doors needs adjusted, and the other reason is there's no hand railings out there. Railings are not supposed to be here till sometime in June. So that's going to be one of the last holdups, I think, for the opening. Would be the.
Figure out how he's going to get to that window with this here.
Oh yeah.
Steps over there. So.
Well, the steps come up, but you can't get in over there. You have to come over here in this door. Yes. On this wall back here, there's going to be a lift, and it's not here yet either. So we'll be able to bring people up a lift if need be to bring them in this side, or if we bring them in through the truck bay, it's a flat shot.
So, Chief, how much do you spend your time being a project manager for this? Being involved with the.
We're really involved, but M&G has really taken the torch and ran with the dealing with the contractors and dealing with the submittals and so forth. There's questions frequently about things, and we have to put our heads together as the committee and come up with an answer.
There's always change orders with the project.
Oh yeah.
Guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe you get involved with discussion about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have a bi-weekly progress meeting.
Yep.
So every other Tuesday we meet here on site and discuss what's been done, what isn't done, what we're waiting on,
right.
Any changes, something that we need to address or something like that.
Big project.
Yes, it is.
The wiring is really important part
wow.
of this building.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Back when the other fire stations were built, technology wasn't the number one thing, and technology has moved to the forefront as far as us being able to function.
Well, be a place you'll be proud of.
Oh yes, yes, very proud of this. So the baby box is on. If you go out the door and up the street to the next set of steps, that's where you'll. And there's less steps to get to it. It's kind of secluded back in there. So if somebody wanted to use it, it's a little bit more anonymous. So.
All right.
So. Well, our parking lot's going to be on this end, and then they'll walk around the sidewalk, and then you'll be able to come up in. Yeah, this is the public entrance right here. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a window over there. That's not a door. So this will be the only way for the public to get in is through this entrance here.
Have to be buzzed in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a security system so that we can. They'll ring a buzzer, find out why they're here, and if we need to send somebody out to meet them, or whether we can buzz them in and they can come back and find us. So.
Yep. Well, there's a lot of expensive equipment and stuff in here. You have to somebody to walk in.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Okay.
Well, is that pretty well?
Okay. Yes, that's pretty much it. There's if we want to walk down that hall and you want to look in those offices, they're pretty much all the same as we're walking down. And then if you want to see the office at the end where I'm going to be.
Sure, we want to see your office.
And that room over there is going to be a room. Let's say we had somebody that came in and says, I'm not feeling well, and can you take my blood pressure or something? We can put them in there, a little bit of private area where we can take the blood pressure and things like that. So.
Did you talk about the funding, or how did you fund this building?
This building is being funded through the city service fee.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was very unpopular when it went in, but it half of that is funding this project and the police project.
Okay.
And then the other half, I believe, is for paving throughout the city.
And then when this is finished and the police station's already been finished, it will all go towards paving.
I don't know that for sure.
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
they'll quit requiring a service fee.
I think the project on I think the commitment on those are 20 years for both projects. So I'll be long gone before somebody else will be making those decisions. So, but like if you see these like card readers by the doors, everywhere you come in here, you'll have to swipe to get through that door. So I don't know if they're actually locked right now or, but it's
Okay, let's go see your office.
okay. Let's walk down the hall. Oh, it looks like it's not locked.
I'm just wondering.
This little cutout here is going to be like a copier area. They're going to have a plans table for like doing plans reviews for like new constructions, because our fire inspectors, they do all the life safety stuff for any new constructions or any major renovations within the city. So they'll be able to spread the plans out in here and look at them and stand around a table and get information and. There we go.
It's a little more room than you had before, right?
Yes. Yeah, this will be my assistant Maggie's office. So she'll have her office and her desk in here, and then that door over there will be her records room. So all the personnel records and things like that will be secured in that locked area. And you want to look in there? Or?
No.
Okay. It's just an empty room, but we can open it if we need to. And then this will be our conference room. So if we have something going on with staff meetings, things like that, we'll have a conference table in here. We could use this as a command post if we needed to for an event. So I think next week they're supposed to pave the lot out here.
It's pretty soundproof, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You don't hear the cars going by.
No, you can't hear anything.
That's good. You can hear the thunder.
Yeah.
So where's the sauna? It should be in your office.
I know, it should. That's what I said.
Yeah, me too.
So then one thing that we didn't have at the other place, the project foreman's using my office here as his office right now too. So, but I'm going to actually have a bunk room and a shower facility here. So if we have some type of major incident going on where I have to be here for more than 8 hours at a time, I'll have a place where I can rest if I need to or get a shower.
So this is your office?
Yes, this will be my office here. So, yeah, it's going to be. That's a great question. I think some of that has to do with the lights, because if you leave the lights on in a room, if it doesn't sense movement for a period of time, it shuts the lights out. So I think that might be part of that. Yeah. So.
Okay, so is this the end?
Yeah, this pretty much, we've pretty much been through the whole building. And, of course, like I said, it's under construction, and I would more than like to invite everyone back when we're open for business, and it's all cleaned up and ready to go, and it'll have furniture in it, and you can take a look at it. Oh, thank you. So
Have a grand opening this.
we will. We don't have a date for that yet, but we're going to have some open houses and things like that. So it'll be. We definitely want to show this off because it's going to be a showpiece. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Chief Blazier.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.